Tip your broker. What? Tip my broker? I mean, there is probably a couple people maybe that clicked on this and you have a visceral reaction to paying your broker more, or even thinking about why a broker is even valuable. So, hi, my name is Melissa DeWeese. I've been an insurance broker for over 20 years. When I say that, people tend to think that brokers are somehow evil or unneeded or lazy or aren't worth really anything. Some people really think that brokers are useless, unfortunately. Now, I say, of course I'm valuable. Of course I believe I'm worth my weight in gold to many of my clients. And I want to bring forward something that I've been thinking about lately. So many people have a visceral reaction to brokers. They believe that commissions are bad. They believe that, I don't know exactly everything they believe. However, I want to share my perspective with you and some of the issues that I've been thinking about lately as to why perhaps brokers have a bad rap or get a bad rap. Now, the way I think about my job is that I work for my clients. I do not work for the insurance companies. Maybe there are some brokers out there that think differently than me, and all I can do is share with you my experience, who I am, why I do what I do, and really my perspective. So my perspective on this is that it is dangerous to do business with an insurance company without a broker. Similar to a real estate transaction. You would not want to go into a real estate transaction without an agent. I know some people do, but there are so many forms, there's so many points within the deal where you can frankly get screwed over or leave yourself open for something really catastrophic to happen, or perhaps even waste your money on insurances that you do not need. Now, I said tip your broker. Because if I as a broker am doing my job, so I view my job as working for the client. I work for the client, not the insurance company. And I thought about this because I think very differently than kind of the standard broker today. The standard broker today's goal is to make as much money as possible. And I'm not saying that I'm not here to make money. I am here to make money. This is how I provide for my family. This is how money is usually how I gauge how well I'm doing. You know, it is somewhat of a gauge. So if I'm not making any money, there's probably something very wrong. I mean, this isn't a charity, right? But some brokerages exist solely to make money, which again is fine. These tend to be very large brokerages. The client tends to be another line on a spreadsheet. It's a business transaction. I get it. And what may end up happening, and what I have seen happen with several of the new clients that I have gotten over the last year, these are very nice accounts. They have, a decent number of employees and a decent amount of commissions. And I think, why is this broker providing no alternatives for this client? Or just defaulting to the renewal. So they may be doing this analysis and showing you all these charts and all this data and saying that they've done a market evaluation, and then I go to do the market evaluation, and for this particular client I see $20,000 to $50,000 in savings on the ancillary products and another $100,000 to $200,000 of savings on the medical products. And I think to myself, why wasn't this, these clients haven't seen this before. They haven't seen these options. And not saying that they're going to take these options. This is something that, I always educate my clients on as to what are all of the options. You say you love your current carrier, but how much do you love them? You say you want this, but how much do you love it? Do you love it 20 grand? Do you love it 10 grand? Do you love it 100 grand? Do you love it a million? I mean, how much do you love your current benefits plan and your current providers? And there are some clients that are very, very loyal, and those are some of the best clients, the ones that are extremely loyal, and I appreciate that at the core of my being. I understand the importance of a relationship with an insurance company and your service providers, definitely. However, that's not to say that I view my job as to look at all the options, give all of the options to the executive team, and help them walk through the downsides to staying where they are and the downsides to moving to a new product, as well as the upsides, of course. But oftentimes, seeing the downsides as well, and talking about the worst case scenarios in each situation can be a really great practice. So my point is, me as this new broker for a client may be presenting, let's call it $100,000 in savings. Why wouldn't their previous broker be showing them these options? Well, because they would make less money. Right? If we are making money off of commissions and I do all this extra work, right? It is more work for your broker to show you all of the options, and then it's even more work for your broker to move you from whatever your current products are to new products. So now with all of it, what is the human, and I'm not saying that every broker outright thinks like this. I think a lot of brokerages do, the executive teams do. Their goal a lot of times is to get clients to renew as is as often as possible, because policies prices go up every year, and if it goes up 5-10%, guess what? The agency's revenue also went up 5-10% year over year, which, hey, that's not a bad automatic, increase in your revenue as a business. However, the individual agents, I don't believe they necessarily think like that. I don't believe that's their default core as to why they're working with each client. I'm not saying that. However, when a person gets overwhelmed in the day-to-day and they are they going to recommend you to renew as is? Most likely, yes. Because the default tends to be more comfortable. The default tends to be less work. The default being the renewing with your current carriers. Most brokers are going to, and I do too, when I view it as the best option. However, I try not to recommend. I try to bring information to my client and give them the information, and so that they can make the decision. However, many brokers do recommend, they'll come in and they'll say, hey, we're recommending you renew as is. Here are the numbers. They'll give you a bid list. They'll say everything else was uncompetitive. And what does that mean? What is uncompetitive? Uncompetitive, every person is going to define a little bit differently. Some may even define it as, oh, you saved money, but you know what? The provider network isn't as big. Okay, but that's up to the client to decide. Are they willing to save 10% for, 5% less providers? Maybe that in the client's definition, maybe that is a competitive option. So that's kind of how I think about it. But I'm just explaining to you that the default in human behavior is to do the easier thing. And especially when the easier thing brings them more money, and the harder thing brings them less money and more work. You're very unlikely for a broker to actually go through and show all options and show options that are going to be saving you money. That's why I view my core value is discipline, because I am disciplined enough and my team is disciplined enough to do a thorough market evaluation as objectively as possible for every client every single year. And we do that because we want to keep ourselves honest. We keep that discipline in place to make sure that we remain honest to ourselves, honest to our clients, and really show what every single option is for them every single year. Now, of course, the clients aren't going to want to change every year, and we don't expect them to, and certainly I don't want them to, and I don't believe it's best for the client either, and cost effective for the client either, to make a change, a dramatic change every year. There are all kinds of additional costs, administrative costs. You're paying your HR person, your admin people, and disrupting your employees. Those are all cost related. So it doesn't always make sense to make a change. However, we view it as our job to do a thorough market evaluation each and every year. So how I view tipping the broker: tip your broker if they're saving your money by telling your friends about your experience. Tell other HR people, tell other CFOs, write a post about your broker if they are saving you money on LinkedIn or on some social media platform. Because if they're saving you money, they're working their ass off for you and they're making less money. So do what you can to tip your broker, if not monetarily, definitely through social media and referrals. So with that, I look forward to speaking with you. If you want to learn more about my company, our link is bennies.info. That's BENNIES.info. And you can schedule a meeting with me there or learn more about my company. Thank you for hanging out until the end, and we'll see you next time.